Hello and welcome to another Abusecartoons Livestream. So this is for the month of March. We're kind of in the middle of it right now. And yeah, it's been a while. February, end of February was the last time, so a few weeks ago. And so I thought we would catch up on some cartoons. There's one due today, as usual. So we'll try to get that done. And I've made the unforgivable mistake of updating Photoshop, so it's probably gonna be a lot of mistakes and a lot of frustration, because I just noticed now oh yeah, you can see it as well. See that little cursor? I didn't have that before, so I need to go turn that off. So I love when you update things. For some reason my preferences never get saved, so there we go. I have to go through and save those again. And also the resizing, I'll have to build that on stream as well. The little action I have for resizing the cartoon. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So hello everyone, and it's been a while. Yeah, sorry for the really random schedule and the not very friendly time. The hours that this is being done. I know that it's daylight savings again, so that or it's off now, so that this is going to be probably on the way to midnight for a lot of people, and well after midnight for most of North America. So apologies for that. I'll try to get something on a better schedule, but it's just not possible. There were some changes coming up that may make things work better. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. There we go. Yeah, so it's not doing the thing it usually does this time of year. Usually it's 3 days freezing cold, 3 days summer. Now it's just been cold. Excuse me. So yeah, but of course the hay fever is here. The hay fever of this season is in full swing. But yeah, it's so a little bit odd. It's slowing down all the cherry trees, so I'm sure there's a lot of very disappointed tourists that were looking forward to, well, they were here seeing something, and so far not much of anything along the lines, for the for the cherry blossoms. So I don't know. It'll probably happen very suddenly, and then we'll get some bad weather. The thing that happens sometimes that's really depressing is things happen late, and then you get a turn of kind of bad weather where it's very windy, heavy rain and wind for just a few days, and it just strips the trees of all of the cherry blossoms. So that's even shorter season than usual. All right, get a little bit thicker on this line here. So hopefully this year isn't going to be one of those where we have just, literally 48 hours of anything enjoyable. Let's make that a little smaller. I don't know. All right. But there we go. Let's try something like that. There we go. Something like that. Ink. This was digital ink. Hey, True Help, how's it going? Okay, 5. Hey, sorry about the late schedule, but good to see you. Very cool. Yeah, good to see you guys in the chat. True Help TV and K5 Square Body, one of the OGs of the chat. All right. Yeah, I'll go a little bit later on the bottle color. Actually, maybe I'll go white and then do the ink. What? What? Oh, wait. Do I have something? No? There's not something open. That's a totally closed. Really? What is going on? Oh, the sensitivity has turned. No. What is going on? Yeah, see, I should never update Photoshop. It's just only trouble. This is so stupid. Yeah, I've kept it for the longest time because I had everything set up and working well. Yeah, there's not. Oh, I guess this one does have an open. I can see that. All right, maybe it's not lying. Yeah, there's a little open spot. I guess I just didn't have it. But where is it? Oh, when I stretched it. Yeah, it's a pixel. It can just be as little as a pixel. Wow. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah, wow. It was just a tiny little bit. All right. And then I think I'll put like a smaller amount of ink in the bottle. But yeah, it's going okay. Big transition for my daughter starting high school. That's crazy. So school year changes in the spring here. So that's very amazing. It's gone so fast. So that's, set everything off. Lots of extra stuff to do. And of course, because it's Japan, that means a new uniform. They really get you with the school uniforms. Every 3 years, they can make you do it all over again. All right. Cool. Yeah, let's try this. Oh, and then I think I'll have to add that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I haven't... Oh, did I not get that? I guess not. Let's try this. There we go. Yeah, so it's good to be back online with you, and yeah, apologize for this schedule. It's never easy to sort out, but I might have a different situation going on where it might make it easier. I realized too that I really benefited from doing it at the office. COVID changed that. If you can remember my ridiculous first COVID stream. So I moved everything here, and I'm reluctant to move it back, but it was really, keeping it separate really helped me be, stricter about, no, I'm doing this today, kind of stuff. That's always, I guess that's okay. Yeah, that's always difficult. All right. It's going to be a good day. Nice. Oh, interesting. Yeah. How prevalent is Shinto, True Help TVS? So Shinto is kind of the base underneath all beliefs and thinking and everything in Japan. So the Japanese, as far as I understand, I'm not a practitioner or an expert or anything, but we had a little bit of a Shinto ceremony for our wedding. And so, some of this was described to me. But it's more of like an animism religion where there's a spirit of everything, like everything has a spirit. And so more nature religion and Buddhism was kind of put on top of that, so it shares a lot of things. So it's a bit different. The teachings are a bit different from how it manifests in like India or China or Korea, and it's still the basic belief. I think people believe Shinto, and because it's much older, and it's almost has like a superstition to it. Like it almost has like a way you do things and a way you're grateful for things and why you don't do certain things. But it also, I think, informs a lot of their, kind of ghost, their why they like certain kinds of ghost stories and things because of the culture. So, there is a spirit in just about anything that can be angry with how you did something and come back and haunt you. But it's not, if you watch any like Studio Ghibli animation, like all the Totoro and Princess Mononoke and all those, especially when they deal with nature, like those films do, you can really get the feeling that there's no good and evil. So Christianity and a lot of the other Abrahamic religions, things based in Western cultures, have a lot of thoughts about good and evil and insiders, outsiders. And Shinto definitely isn't like that. It's a more of a belief system and like a way to kind of think about the world. And so the way that they adapted Buddhism takes a lot of that into account. I think there's things that probably do like kind of oppose each other, and always, just like every country, there's periods of time in the Buddhist religion where certain teachings were brought back, and those are supposed, brought back from India or Korea. And these are the original. This is the closer to correct version. So what you guys are doing is wrong. Here's the correct way to be doing this. And so things like the number of times you clap when you pray, if you pray silently or out loud, some little interesting kind of variations. So that, and of course, religion was used to control the masses. So when Buddhism was here, the kind of ruling parties were using that to, kind of unite people under, so you believe this kind of Buddhism and you think I'm a good leader, right? So that kind of stuff. So it's interesting because, it's still, even people that say they're not religious, you'll see them have, it feels a little bit like superstition, because it's a more of a nature religion and not such a maybe dogmatic or, right versus wrong kind of thing. But that's just my limited understanding. But it is very, very fundamental, and I think that's why Japanese movies and stories and things are different from Western, because they, even if they're aping the good versus evil stuff, they do it differently, so that it has a different tone to it. There's like a balance in the universe, or a way things should be, or things work out a certain way because of because of that thinking. So it's interesting. Actually, I probably shouldn't contrast these. No, that's fine. Let's keep that out. But and I don't think there is as much disagreement about, I could be totally wrong about this, but I haven't heard so much disagreement about the Shinto practices, whereas there are very strict, versions of what you do. Like when you pray at a shrine and things, depending on where you are, there's, ways that people will criticize you for what you're doing, the way, and, so it has much more formal rules and things. The frustrating thing for me is, I think it's part of the post-war constitution in Japan, and it's a good thing, ultimately, I guess, that there's freedom of religion in Japan, but that also means that all the crazies are out, and Asia especially has some real fanatical, weird, culty stuff going on, and so you do get a lot of like the Jehovah's Witnesses are here in full force, and and they're all not paying taxes, and the assassination of the prime minister was basically motivated by the weird connection that the certain religious organization had to the government here, and that's just in the eyes of this probably very disturbed individual, but that was a big part of it because they used these religious groups as kind of their door knockers and pamphlet, their promotion. What is that? Campaigning as campaigning kind of foot soldiers, and so there's some money and some influence and stuff there, and there always has been. I think it's a pretty long-standing thing, but so that's a little bit strange for me, is seeing all the, even though America's got its share of that, but seeing the really wacky stuff that's kind of untouchable and they know it, is a little bit strange. So it kind of dilutes the idea of it being a strictly Buddhist country, because there's a lot of like strange sects and things of whatever here. And Asia's got its share of, kind of random religions. If your religion is based around your academic success or financial, your financial success, you should be a little suspicious of it. But but Shinto is alive and well in an interesting way. I don't think any Japanese person would tell you that, because they don't really see it. But like as an outsider, I can see very much that Japanese beliefs and Japanese thinking are still very much based in those ideas. Oh, should we try to do eyes on the ink? Maybe not. Let's not have animated ink. All right, something like that. Yeah, right. Yeah. So basically, from my basic understanding, England and America helped write the post-war constitution for Japan, and I think they kept their structure of their diet, that they call the diet, kind of their Congress, and but they forced some things like freedom of religion and right to assembly and stuff in there, which is good, because those were the kind of the rights that were stepped on during the war. Which was why the imperialist, the kind of militaristic, like imperialist forces were able to do so well, because anybody that disagreed with them, they just drug them out in the street and shot them and said, they were speaking against the emperor. So freedom of assembly and stuff is good, and also it helps for workers' rights and things, because Japan is not great with workers' rights, especially foreigners. So that's helped to at least people get their voices heard. Whether that how much effect that has and how much that endangers their their visa or their employment or whatever, you never know. But so there's certain things. There's a lot of things that like really didn't exist in pre-war Japan. All right, something like that. And actually, let's write this one, because it's getting I think it's already too late. But let me write this one. I was thinking about digital ink. Was no undo. Maybe unlike digital ink. There was no undo for spills, for mistakes. All right. Yeah, that was the, I remember that transitional period when I started doing more digital work and doing the original inking and everything digitally. I realized that when I would go back to, ink on paper, pencil on paper, I would have that, I wish I could just have undone that mark, especially when you're doing the like finishing work, like inking, and you're trying to get a line just right. The undo is powerful, but like for sketching and stuff, yeah, it's not, it's kind of, it's a useless concept. Should I do all caps? Maybe, yeah, maybe do this. Undo. Undo. Or oops. Undo. I want to make it stand out more. All lowercase, it looked a little strange. Yeah, let's do it like that. That's kind of it looks kind of silly, and it stands out a little bit, but doesn't look like a, all caps looks like a abbreviation for something. All right. Maybe for yeah, so unlike digital ink, there was no undo for this mistake specifically. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. But yeah, so during that transitional period, I really like started to realize how much I was being kind of swallowed up by that style of working. It's not good. I don't think it. My work definitely hasn't improved. It's just gotten more. I can produce it easier and takes up less space. I don't have that big storage cabinets of drawings. But I really got sucked into working that way just because some of those simple bad habits. And you'll see, like, when I was early stream of this, I still do it, but I'll do a line undo, a line undo, a line undo. And the whole idea of this, and why the early cartoons that were done on paper are kind of really wonky looking, is because I did them with permanent marker and very specifically unable to fix any lines. Just tried. So there's some things I completely threw away, pages I threw away, but I would try to do it, cartooning in just kind of one stroke, not do like a pencil sketch and then ink that sketch, just actually draw directly with marker on paper. Yeah. So, good, yes. Snack time is coming. Yes. Oh, nice. Yes, the spirit. Yeah, so it is very interesting. Everything having a spirit is a very different way to think about the world, and I think that's a Shinto belief as well. But it's done at the Buddhist temples, where you don't throw away something that looks like a person. So old dolls and things, you should take them to the temple and have them burnt by the priests, because it releases the spirit that manifests in anything that looks like a person. So just throwing something that looks like a person in the trash and having it get buried, or whatever's going to happen to it, is not good without the ceremony. So stuff like that is very interesting. So that's why they love scary doll horror movies and stuff, because they genuinely have that belief. Okay, so let me see if I can still do this here. Are these the actions? Make an action? Yeah. I wish I could just import. Can I import an action? No. Okay. Oh, this is history. This isn't actions. Do they still have actions? Yes, they do. Yay. Okay. Oh no, it found it. Okay, good. Okay, it didn't. Total. There we go. Okay, so it is still there. Thank God. Yeah, so I guess anything that was a... So this is a new update of Photoshop, so anything that's not the newer... or anything that would have be on a default preference if it's a new thing, like this weird visible cursor and stuff. Okay, so cool. Yeah, so my action is still in there, so let's give it a shot. First, let's make sure this is saved. Yes. All right. Oh, that's good. That of course that should happen because it's all the stuff is in the same place. But yeah, that cursor just had me worried that everything was reset. All right. But yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, and I wonder yeah, I don't know. It is very... It's an interesting difference, but it doesn't with those kinds of beliefs don't interfere with greed or interfere with materialism or kind of a superficial, view of the world, which is, yeah, interesting. All right, let me quickly... Oh, shoot. I couldn't get... So the other thing that this new Photoshop is doing that really had me worried is I can't display... How it instances, for some reason, is different in Windows than it was doing before. So I can't show you guys the drawing surface. I just have to capture the entire monitor, whereas before I was just capturing a application window. But the application window of actual Photoshop, where this image should be this white blank page, is not visible. So I couldn't figure out any other way to display the drawing in progress stuff. So I was a little bit worried things were going to go very, very badly. And now I just need to find my FTP client. I don't even remember which one I'm using. There we go. Because I can't minimize the screen, or you're just going to be looking at my desktop. And you can see how many versions of Fallout I have installed right now. Oh, damn. Yeah, I don't even need to do this anymore. I'm sorry. It's switched. There is no more... yeah, there is no more FTP. I forgot. The company changed. Oh, and as we'll see when we take a look at the stuff that you guys missed from the past few weeks, they have also changed. Or they will be. It's not yet. They're also going to do an update to the website. So we'll see how that looks. All right. God, I'm bad at doing this. Yeah, so that's nice. Go Comics is still like actively, because there are some sites, especially sites that are charging subscriptions, that don't ever do any updating for anything. There we go. All right, so let's keep at it. Let's try to keep these things opened. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, true, Hub, you're right. Handles on cups. I'm always trying to get the curve. Right. Yeah, that was a really funny funny change of habit. I really hate the fact... I mean, I really should just get a nice archival printer, and after I make every one of these cartoons, print one out, so there is like a finished first copy of something, just to have, and like maybe like sign it, or like take away my little digital signature and like sign it or something. Hey Abyss, how's it going? I'm streaming. Uh-oh, is it misspelled? Oh, there you go. To Windows graphics capture. Thank you, TrueHub. Yeah, see, I should have just played around with it. Of course, I'm doing it right before I go live, so I didn't want to. Nice, nice. Yeah, I didn't think to try the changing that method. I'll take a look at that in OBS. Yeah. Nice. Let's see, am I streaming? Did I misspell everything on the... No, it's working. Yeah, so this is going on both the Abuse Cartoons and the Upturned Table channel. I don't think I've got any game art to do, and I still haven't figured out why my mic arm... I think I shifted around on my desk or something. So I'm going to have to move everything, I think, over to the left to make it keep it out of the camera view. So I apologize for that looking so ugly. So it's just like a metal arm that appears, you know, in the middle of everything. And especially when it's on the white canvas, it's particularly strange looking. It obscures a little bit. So sorry about that. I got to get all of this stuff kind of reconfigured because right now I've got too many, you know, because I use this desk for streaming like this. So, you know, face forward camera or whatever. And then an overhead camera if I do unboxings or flip through a book or something. And so I need to be able to go between both of those, but also painting minis, which I don't stream usually, but so there's like a little corner of my desk that's got all my painting stuff on and a little corner of my desk that has everything laid out. Yeah, so it's a mess. I need to just pare down into, you know, doing one thing only. Yeah, but I think that's my problem with YouTube too, is I have too many interests in doing different things. If I would have just stuck to, you know, only cartooning this cartoon and everything I could possibly do with this cartoon, it probably would go a lot further. But yeah, I divide my attentions. All right, so that's good. All that stuff is still saved. Cool. So it must just be when it opened that last time. It wasn't. Oops, it wasn't seeing it the same way. That's good. Restream YouTube. Yes, you're in YouTube chat. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Restream duplicates the chat onto all the platforms, which is not good when people are just spamming. You know, like when you're spamming the Russian, you know, views by views and all that stuff, that gets, you know, duplicated. So, Restreambot will duplicate everybody's chat into the chat that they're not in. Which kind of ruins the whole thing. But yeah, we'll see. I can turn that off. Maybe I should turn that off. All right. Cool. Nice. Oh yeah. So Abyss is coming in from Upturned Table or from. Yeah, and I'm watching it on Abuse Cartoons. So yeah, wherever you're seeing it, it's gonna go in and out somewhere else. What fun! Yeah, because when it was only like early days and it's only a few people on each channel, it was good to have a more active chat. But it does have that big quote thing. It does have that Restreambot says. Yeah, so we'll see. But I'll keep trying to have ideas about how to make this better and or worse. Yeah, maybe like this is better. Oh yeah, so slightly like one thread right on these weird gallons. Yeah, I caught up with an very old friend, actually old like neighbor and classmate. We didn't keep after I left in the middle of high school from my original high school, so we didn't keep in touch much after that. But I, you know, with you know, Facebook and stuff, it was easy to no, can't complete your. Oh no, I hope it's not. I'm out of memory. There we go. Yeah, but so like a guy I hadn't seen in like 30 years, but you know, had that parasocial thing where I'd seen what he was kind of up to after we found each other on social media. We didn't like, you know, communicate. We didn't have anything in common, like career wise or anything, but he's been doing a lot of traveling. So showed up in Japan finally. Had done a lot of Asia, a lot of traveling in Asia. and finally came to Japan. So that was fun. That was really fun to catch up and just to see, because it had been so long that it wasn't like one of those things. Like sometimes they talk about when you see family, like family members or friends that you haven't seen for just a few years, but it's enough that you've changed, and when you see them, you're kind of drugged through time, suddenly realizing exactly how, aged you are and exactly what you must look like because of what they look like, kind of thing. It wasn't like that because it had been so long. It was just like, wow, it's so crazy. This is the neighbor that, when I first moved to that area, we hung out all the time. And yeah, it was very funny. We were on like, Little League baseball and basketball and everything together in, middle school. So that was, a fun, and I'm terrible, keeping up with friends. I always need, some prodding and poking to do it very well. But that was so cool. Yeah, it was nice to, and then he's doing great. It was good to see, having a fun reason to be in Japan. But not probably, I don't know, because they don't have anything to compare it to, but it's that it's getting to kind of this weird critical mass where it's almost unpleasant to try to do certain things. I think, though, they went more, more interesting and rare stuff. So they didn't go into all the really overcrowded things. But that's a really gigantic orange, isn't it? So I think they lucked out. But they did just miss the cherry trees. But yeah, that was cool. That was, I was learn how to fix it. That's weird. There must be something, that's something new. Learn how to fix this thing that you used to do, but that we don't want you to do anymore. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the sacrifice.
Big W.
What's going on here? Somebody just did something. I'm talking. I shouldn't have that on. Thank you for whoever just did that. Oh, Raid. Hey, thank you. That's what's happening. Oh, Hyphonics, get out of here. Thank you. Hyphonics community, good to see you guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, check out that super cool icon on the Hyphonics YouTube page. I did that. Yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, thanks. If that was a follow, let me get Streamlabs up. Yeah, I've got the sound on, so I can you can see. Greetings, Hyphonics peoples. Yeah, good to see everybody. Very cool. Yeah, that was the thing that actually made this stream happen. And K5 was a big part of that. Oh shoot, maybe this one. But yeah, very cool. Just going visiting old friends. Yeah, it's crazy where people end up. It's like, especially like small towns, some people end up so far away from where they started, and some people end up like, next town over, or, right down the block where they marry their high school sweetheart, or, things like they take over their dad's business or whatever. There's a lot of interesting things that have like the big effects on people's lives and kind of keep them rooted to a place. Nice. Thank you, Money Industry, for the sub. Much appreciated. Very cool. Wow, nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, your friends have joined. Sure. Let's do some snack time. Yeah, we can take a break from drawing orange juice and give it a little snack preview. So this week we're doing Crunky. So here, let's go to the convenience store. Whoa. All right, so that was the Family Mart chime. So if you've ever been into a Family Mart, and I think it's all over Asia. Like if you go to one in Taiwan or Korea or whatever, it's that same chime. But that's the the Sharp doorbell. I think Sharp or Panasonic, maybe Sharp doorbell from the 80s that they used, and they just made it their sound. Okay, so where should we start here? I guess we'll start with the kind of classic. So these are the tiny ones. So there's a snack, and it's been around forever, and we may have even had some on the channel. It's almost keying out, but it's called Crunky. I think it's supposed to sound crunchier than crunchy, because they have the chi sound in Japanese. But maybe Crunky sounds like something else. It doesn't sound like what it's supposed to be. So that happens sometimes. So like the word next, that for that idea, or if they try to use the English word next in things, sometimes they'll take the T off because people will say nexto. Japanese people naturally just will there's no T sound by itself ending an ending sound of a word. So sometimes next will just be NEX. So if you ever see something NEX and they're trying to say it's a future or the new version or something, that's because in Japanese they don't want to put the T on there because it has too many syllables. So Pepsi next is Pepsi next in Japan. Like literally the T is missing. So that's their marketing thing. So for some reason, yes, K, which is funny because this is the opposite. It must be a pronunciation thing because in Japan, it's the opposite. They like the look of C more than K. So for marketing, they'll change, if they don't know, the spelling of a word. If it's a K sound, they'll choose a C because they like how that looks in the, display of the word. Whereas in America, and I don't know if this, it's an older thing, but if you think about it, Kleenex and Krispy Kreme and there's a lot of, is Cool Whip? I think Cool Whip is with a K. Like, so English speakers and maybe just Americans like K words for some reason. So this is one of those rare times where Japan goes with a K instead of a CH, I guess. And maybe they wanted a shorter word. So Crunky sounds like a very dated hip hop dance. So these are chocolate balls with some kind of crunchy, like a cookie thing in, but as you'll see, they do a big variety of them. So they come in these small, kind of the size of a malted milk ball, or like what are those called? Milk dud. Or what are the really chewy caramel ones? Whoppers are the malted milk balls. But so this is a thing that started, I think in the 90s, they really started, I think these might be older than that, but candy bars with like junk inside them, like pieces of Oreo cookie and pretzel and stuff, started to become popular, especially with like the university students. And so, these are the smaller ones, so they're kind of square. Yeah, I guess they're a little bit squared. So you see they're flat, they wouldn't roll away, they're not spherical. So these are just the standard flavor, the original flavor. So I think it's just cookie pieces in here. Okay, crunchy. Yeah. So this is like a denser malted milk ball. Those crunchy Whoppers, I think they're called in the US. I don't know what they're called like in the UK or anyplace else, but it's as if they also kind of got the chocolate in the crunchy part as well. So it's all throughout, it's chocolate. Kind of a waxy outside. It's not going to melt in your fingers, but very chocolatey. It's not just like a chocolate coating on a weird crunchy thing in the middle like Whoppers are. Yeah. So it's and if you can see on the package, it's got it's little pieces of cookie in there. So that's their default original version. But they couldn't end there. What am I missing here? They couldn't stop there. I thought I had I did have a strawberry one. I might have to take a break and get the strawberry one. They just up there said they went all crazy. So here is another variation of that same thing, but it's a white chocolate on the outside and the dark like Oreo cookie inside. I had a strawberry as well. I wonder if that is upstairs. Yeah, so this literally says cookies and cream. Yeah, the cookies and cream version. and the cream batter is less than 3% of actually something 0.3% of something actually delicious. Maybe for people with like milk allergies or whatever, they're warning them. So these are a little more round and not very white. Oh yeah, this is different though. It's interesting. I should try to bite these in half too, because this one, the middle is just the Oreo cookie. It's not kind of, oh yeah, very white chocolate on the outside. Not my favorite flavor. So, oh, let me get a sip here. So, yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Look at that. It's just a big chunk of cookie crumb in the middle of a white chocolate, whereas this original one, I should get a special tool, is all the way through. See how much like chocolate, so the little stuff in there is just kind of dispersed throughout. I guess you can actually see that on the package. I don't need to, oh, like a maniac. I don't need to bite through those. Yeah, see, it's just a, but it is white chocolate on the outside. So that's not great. But, so that's their basic like little snack size. But they decided to do, of course, what you must do, go big. So they, there's a Crunky big size as well. So this is more, it's a crunchier version. So they're calling it, yeah. So they call the, this larger version, Zaku Zaku cookie, and so it's crunchier. It's supposed to be like a crunchier version, probably because it has more stuff in it. But yeah, these are the big versions, and because you can't eat this all at one time, these are in a little Ziploc, so that's nice. You can actually seal those back up. So that is the larger size, and just to give you a visual, it's actually maybe 50%. Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but as you can see, this is big, this is regular size, but it's a darker chocolate, it looks like, on the outside, and I think it has a lot more going on in the middle. Yeah, it's much denser. Yeah, so it's both the crunchy thing and cookies. So it's actually like the love child without the white chocolate of these two. It's both. That's nice. That's a good combination. Because it's a really big variety and it's much denser. So the big the big ones. Yeah, so both cookie and, so yeah, in addition to the regular one, and it's a larger size. So it's like, yeah, I like that when there's more chocolate in the middle because it kind of mixes better with the flavor. The one with just the cookies and cream is not great. And finally, let's add the missing, what's the missing piece, right? So you've got cookies and you've got some crunchy crunchy thing that they do. Pretzels. So this is, there's some other bars like the Black Thunder I think we've looked at. That's a candy similar to this, which is a bunch of super crunchy stuff wrapped in chocolate, and it's a nice kind of complicated chocolate stuff. I think these though are individually wrapped, yeah. So no Ziploc, but individually wrapped. So this kind of stuff is very common at workplaces and stuff, or if you ever need to receive somebody in Japan, give them a cup of coffee and something on the saucer. So something like this would be a good, that's why they do so much individually wrapped stuff, just because you need to present food and you don't want to be touching someone's cookies or whatever. So it's all individually wrapped. So this is much more like a Black Thunder bar, which I think we've looked at before, but this is like a Crunky bar. Is that what they're calling it? Yeah. So it's a chocolate crunch, but this is pretzel. And those are called, I guess they're calling those puffs. The thing in the original one is maybe like a rice puff or something. So like a Nestle's Crunch bar. But maybe they didn't want to say crunch. So they said Crunky bar. Yeah, this is very, very similar to Black Thunder. So I don't know who came first. Yeah. So this oh wow, we did this whole progression here. We started with the original puffed little rice puffs, went to some cookies, went to both of those, and now the final combination is with salty pretzels in the middle. Oh man. Okay, that's pretty good. And unfortunately, I don't have the strawberry variation. I think that might have fallen out of the bag on the kitchen table. Well, yeah, that is perfect. Maybe a little bit, I don't want to say this because I'm a real Black Thunder fan, but maybe a little bit better than Black Thunder because it's the pieces are smaller, so it's which is odd because it's called Crunky. Oh, so Crunky is from the 70s. 1974 is the first generation. Where I'm pretty sure Black Thunder is from the 90s. It was an attempt to do like a university. They like market it like kind of like Red Bull or whatever. They market it straight at university students. Okay, sorry. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's like a really good variation. Yeah, something about, and you know this, people know this. The salt in a salt and pretzel and chocolate is just like a crazy combination. Plus there's cookie in there. Plus there's the puff. There's the rice puff in there. So that's just about everything perfectly. And everything is kind of small. So it blends really well. Wow, that's a good combination. Yeah. So okay, I would recommend don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with anything else. Go straight to So here we go. Go straight to what you really want. So there's everything. There's all your ingredients right there. That's what you want to be. Don't go no half steps. No cookies and cream. No original. That's really good. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, this maybe this is the original version of that, and so there've been other attempts, but yeah, Crunky, and I don't see a Wikipedia or anything. So Lotte is the company. I think they're owned by Korea now. Lotte. I think I've torn off the. Oh, here. So I think they're owned by Korea now, but they have been doing this a little bit longer, and you can tell. I don't see though anything about the name, like why why the name. Yeah, there's nothing in the. Oh wait, here we go. Okay, so yeah, it's crunchy, light, delicious, classic chocolate. They just came up with the word Crunky. Yeah, so I guess similar to the Nestle Crunch bar, they gave a texture. So it's the original theme was a Gold Rush era theme to the candy. That's really weird. Yeah, so it is puffed. It's puffed wheat flour and starch. So it's not rice puffs. It's wheat flour and starch. Nice, but they don't say the origin is just somebody trying to say crunchy, I imagine. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. So, you can probably get these just about anywhere. I'm sure if you've got any snacks, Japanese snacks, they're going to have some version of this. But this one is the best. The one that puts everything all together, really knocks it out of the park. So, yeah, go for the Yamakoki, Yamikoki, Crunky, because that is the best. Wow. All right, so let's get back to some art, and thank you for everyone that visited from Hyphonics. Very cool to see everybody. All right, delicious. Oh, actually, I have coffee right here. Oh, we might have to end the stream right now. I'm just gonna gorge myself on that bag of chocolate because I have coffee. Wow, good stuff. All right, so very cool. So favorite. Oh yeah, my favorite snacks. Definitely the The Black Thunder I like a lot because it's kind of big and cheap, and because they market it to university students. But the snack that I just tried is definitely the most refined, most like perfect version of that. That was really good. Not too, because sometimes the Black Thunder, there's just big pieces of cookie or big pieces of their kind of puff thing, and so it's too much. But that one is like really well, you know, blended and sized up. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, what else is really good? The Galbo. Galbo has this. It's like a chocolate stick that has a really intense, kind of chocolate cookie in the middle, like a really rich cookie. Those are good. And trying to think of what else that was only in Japan that I tried. Those are probably, the Black Thunder and Galbo are the two. I should do a version because they have many flavors. I think they even do like matcha and strawberry and stuff. Although when they do a chocolate, well, yeah, it's not why why go away from that? Yeah, but yeah, Crunky. I was surprised. That was the first time maybe I noticed such a huge array of flavors. And sorry, I didn't have the strawberry. It didn't. It didn't make it. I wonder if my daughter snuck it out of the bag. But there was. It's probably very similar to the white chocolate one. It was just a strawberry chocolate with the crunchy stuff in it. But that progression was perfect that we did from the original all the way to the that combination with the pretzels. Oof, that's nice. All right, where are we here? Very cool. Oh yeah, Japan does good ice cream too, and I think they do soft cream more. Like if you're a tourist and you're near any of the temples or anything, a lot of the shops will have soft cream, but they'll do like a Japanese sweet potato or tea, like the roasted tea or green tea stuff. Yeah, stuff you can't get anywhere else. Very unique to the area. Oh, and even they do that as well with the soft cream. You kind of soft serve, I think, is what we call it most commonly in the U.S. The soft serve ice cream. What they do often is regionally have a flavor. So kind of tries to promote domestic tourism. Oh, you wanted to try the banana flavor? Well, that's only here, to try to get people to kind of travel around. So we'll do an orange. Worried about how all this juice gets made. And maybe a brighter color here. Oh, let's do a clear. Yeah, let's just do this clear and then we'll fill it. Like we won't have it all the way full with orange juice. That might work better. Oh, and maybe a little green for the little stem part here. Come on. Oh, wait. Shut that down. There we go. Oops. Wrong layer. There we go. Okay. So the other thing we want to do is a label. You buy now. Yeah, am I doing a sales pitch? It's just, stuff to try. Yeah. Oh, so completely unsponsored. Yeah, no Japanese company would ever pay me to be such a shill. It's just my own addicted to sweets, the addiction to sweets that does that. Oh, actually, it should be lighter than that. That's way too dark for orange juice, isn't it? Or yellow. Yeah. Is this too yellow? I think. Let's try that. Oh, didn't do it. Yeah, the frustrating part is I've probably shown you guys a lot of stuff that it's just gone now. Like they are way too trendy and way too limited edition and, seasonal tastes and stuff. So things go away really quickly. But it also makes people, of course, buy on the spot because, I might not have another chance to try this flavor. And so it's funny. I don't know if it's like a coordinated thing. It's like when competing movie studios all do a movie about an asteroid hitting the Earth, or they all do dinosaur movies or whatever. There's obviously some sort of communication about what's the flavor of the thing, and it may just be based on availability, like what they can get a whole bunch of strawberries during this season, so let's do strawberry everything. But the trends are very funny to watch, but they do go away, really fast. So maybe stuff that I've talked about on here, you'll never get a chance to run into. Let's not do that, because they do go away. So like the basic, like the original flavor or the basic flavor, like the chocolate Pocky or maybe strawberry one, will always be around. Just like the regular chocolate Kit Kat, you'll always be able to get. But some of the stuff is very limited, or they intentionally produce it for tourists or whatever, to get people to stock up on it and bring it back. Bring it back with them. All right, orange juice jokes. So actually, I don't think we need to go any darker on that. Yeah, let's just go like that, and maybe some of this and some of this. Yeah, but that Crunky was surprisingly good. Because of that, maybe because of that name, I've never paid much attention to it, because it seems like you don't even know how to say crunchy. Well, how good can your candy be? So I've never paid it a lot of attention, and especially because they don't do the, really, they don't have a real like deluxe version. Maybe that one that I just had was probably the most like, nice combination of everything that I've seen them do. So, yeah, it's funny. Crunky. Yeah, but from the 70s. That's amazing. It kind of sounds like one of those 70s names before there was much native English in Japan. Okay, so I don't mind this for... Oh, wait, so let's put his eyes here, maybe. He's looking away. I don't mind that for the making the eyes, that big black cursor. That helps a lot. But for drawing, it kind of interferes because there's an angle kind of problem. You don't need a cursor when you're using the stylus, because you want to just like be creating that line and kind of, bending your wrist and everything to fit how it's, digitally coming off the pen. So when there's a big black circle there that's kind of offset, it's a little bit disorienting. All right. And the orange is going to have to be sad about this. Just a little. Almost in tears. All right. So should I better write this now while I've still got it in my head. Okay, K5, thanks so much for stopping in. I really appreciate, really appreciate it. Take care, and appreciate everything you've done. Yeah, you're a big benefactor of the channel, and I've done so much. So thank you very much. Rosa, I have not been to Thailand. Everybody that I know, like all my friends here, have visited Thailand and say great things, and I love Thai food. I live near Hollywood, so I ate a lot of really good food in Los Angeles. It was all Thai-owned restaurants, but I have not. Yeah, I've not been to Thailand. Yeah, the latest season of White Lotus is in Thailand, and I think it's kind of getting in the way, because previously they did Italy and Hawaii, and they could like reference the local culture and like what a hotel would kind of do. This one, they're way too entangled. I think. I think Thailand was just too big an idea for them. The cultural difference, the East versus West thing. I don't think they're handling it particularly well. All right. He struggled. I like that. He struggled with the the number of oranges tortured, squeezed. Squeezing is kind of seems pretty torturous. Executed, ended, sacrificed. That doesn't. It's exaggerated, but not in a funny way. Lost. Okay. Killed. This will be placeholder. Killed for that much juice. I have to do 2 lines, I think. What's a funny way for an orange to think of it being squeezed? Given their lives. That's getting morbid. Crushed to death. I'm going to turn some people off of fresh squeezed juice. Maybe that's a little too morbid. Crushed to death. He struggled with the number of oranges crushed to death. For this, I should change for that. To make that much juice. Or I should have a squeezed orange, just the juiceless pulp and the skin all split. Or should it? It should. Yeah, it should be. I'm not gonna be able to say that very clearly. Bisected, like cut in half, and then squeezed. Okay. Okay, that's a really, really over the top phrasing, but it made me laugh, so you better keep it in there. Crushed to death. Hey, Quark, how's it going? So Rosa said, my friend wanted to visit Thailand with me. I haven't ever even left the States, and I'm curious about traveling. Oh, yeah. I think if you've traveled, I would say it would probably be more similar to traveling like Mexico, like Southeast Asia would be more similar to Mexico or South America, or even like the Caribbean, where there's like nice like hotel tourist areas, and then there's like, the cities and like where people live and stuff. So there's going to be a huge difference in kind of the safety and the level of and you're not even talking about like criminality, but like the food safety and people hitting you with their cars or whatever. Very different. And I don't have any personal experience. This is just from other people kind of talking about it. It's a very different feel. So it's the first time out of the country. I think that's why a lot of people are visiting Japan, because Japan is definitely like baby's first Asia. Like it's Asia, but it's similar to Western. There's so much English here. It's similar to Western countries. It's clean and safe. Like food wise, you're not going to really get yourself into trouble. There isn't like local, bacteria or anything. You're not going to get sick, from the water or anything. So it's an easy way to visit Asia, and it also makes a good home base. So you can start here and then, go easily do day trips to, especially Korea or Taiwan, or it's very central to a lot of Asia. But it's traveling in poorer countries is trickier because there's a lot of people trying to make a living by scamming the tourists. So you're gonna find arriving at the airport or at a train station or whatever, there's going to be people in other countries that are going to be targeting you. In Japan, that mostly just happens with the nightlife. Like if you're going to be walking around late at night near the bars, you're going to have people trying to drag you in to places and make you pay thousands of dollars for champagne and probably maybe knock you out. And when you wake up, you're going to have this $10,000 bill that they're going to want you to pay, or they're going to call the police. That's like the most typical kind of Japanese scam, but it gets much worse in Southeast Asia. So yeah, I mean, if you're young and brave and don't bring a lot of things, don't bring a lot of jewelry or anything that you don't want to lose. It's beautiful. I mean, it's those Vietnam and Thailand. I've heard just amazing things. About how beautiful they are. The beaches are amazing. The temples and everything is just great. And the people, are wonderful. The actual, individually owned restaurants and stuff, the people are really super friendly and warm. But you've got, people that are desperate to get money, and they'll do, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble a lot easier, I think, in other places. But that's true in any country. I mean, there's all kinds of shenanigans going on in Japan as well. But as far as as a tourist, it's harder to make mistakes. And it's so cheap right now because of this brutally weak yen. All right, so let's check the spelling. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't change too much about how this version of Photoshop functions. Nice. I was. Hey, Carolina, how's it going? Oh, Vero's going to be pissed too. Yeah, sorry. I'm having a weird late. The cartoon stream is always hard to fit in because it's a longer form, and it's not like, I have to coordinate it with just my personal schedule, but that is surprisingly difficult when it's not the weekend. Yeah. Vero might be angry, but we'll be back for the Friday. On Upturned Table, we'll be back for the Friday. Weekly. Oh, but that actually, I gotta clear that with Chris. So to be even more confusing, Carolina, the weekly podcast on the Upturned Table, I think we're going to do a day early. So it's not going to be Thursday night. It's probably going to be Wednesday night this week because I have business on Friday. I've got to go to a university tour for my daughter on Friday. So I got to be there. So yeah, so we're going to try to do it a day early. So you'll be even more confused. This is going to be a very, very confusing week, Carolina. Sorry. Cartoon stream and then but we will be doing Fallout on Friday night. Pretty definitely. Yeah, because even if we don't have all the players, we can still make some characters. So I've been immersing myself in Fallout lore, especially the Mojave Desert, New Vegas stuff for Fallout. So that's been fun. And I think this group will make some pretty fun Fallout characters. And also I think I'm going to open it up to companions and things for them, because they tried to emulate the computer game, video game, console game pretty well. There's a lot of inventory management, a lot of weapons, and then also companion system, settlement system. There's all kinds of stuff that recreate a lot of the game mechanics. So we'll see what they want to do, but I think I'll let them do companions. That way we'll never have it. It won't be like two people. It'll always be a pretty decent group. Nice. Nice. Well, I'm glad you could stay up, Carolina. Yeah, sorry for the late start. Oh, what time I got a haircut? Hey, wait a minute, watch out. Yeah, I had to do that for graduation. I was looking pretty foul, and yeah. See, all those, just the obligations, social obligations, the only reason I have any sort of hygiene. Oh boy. All right. So You struggle with the number of oranges crushed to death to make that much juice. Okay. All right. So let me make this one as well. Yeah, the cartoon thing, I gotta... Yeah, I feel bad, not being able to dedicate more time to it, but it's just like, I have to, go where the audience is and where everything. So, yeah, it turns out the Upturned table is busier and gets a lot more traffic. I just cannot even come close to getting monetized for Abusecartoons, just because even when I was doing a weekly stream, if it was the weekly streams were probably about 2 hours maximum. So a 2-hour stream, I couldn't, that's not enough watch time. Even if all 1,000 people were watching constantly, which it's not that, it's kind of a drop in and hang. So it was very hard to get those hours. Yeah, it's very strange what these platforms want as far as what they think is normal or what people can actually do. It's very, very mysterious. All right. I'll do one more of these, and then we'll take a look at the stuff from last month. So I drew a few. The end of the month I drew on stream. End of the month, beginning of this month, end of February, I drew on stream. So we'll take a look at that. And yeah, something like that. So orange juice, that was just kept popping into my head. Very simple. Oh no, I just did it. True Help knows I'm gonna have to undo my my mug handles. Yeah, and see, it's not even a conscious thing anymore. I just have my fingers on Control Z when I'm drawing mug handles. Oh my god! All right, let's try something very thin, kind of close to the vest. There we go. All right, looks like must be made of plastic. Yeah, it's just become such a standard thing. It's funny. All right. I really wish there was a some kind of generator that would use the assets from the from the Fallout 3D games, that you could generate characters and stuff. Just in like a web app or something. If somebody stripped out those assets, that would be really fun to make characters in the game using those, like, cruddy cruddy 3D assets. But there doesn't seem to be. All right. Okay. Oh, I drew that on the wrong layer. Because of course I did. Let's do another one. Let's do like a... Oh yeah, how about like a baby handle, those double handle baby cups. Those are usually kind of thin. Yeah, but not that thin. Here we go. I think I've done a two-handled baby cup joke before, especially when I was surrounded by two-handled baby cups. Let's do the spout. Oh, a sippy cup. That's right. That's what these get called often. All right. Maybe make this guy a little wider. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's something I've got to learn to do with drawing when I'm doing like the character art and stuff. I'm still so, I want to work it out in a sketch and then ink over it, but I keep forgetting, there's so much manipulation you can do as far as like proportions and balancing and stuff. I don't take advantage of the digital stuff even close to as much when I do like more complicated illustration work. Yeah, I really should, because you see so many like people when they do the sped up videos, on social media. You really see them pulling apart their sketches and like remanipulating the proportions and the angles of things. I need to do that more with my own work. I think I'd be happier with it, like ultimately. Although the danger that has, though, is you can really you kind of take the life and energy out of a drawing when you've pulled it apart in certain ways to just make the proportions correct. Sometimes you really kill like the energy or the lines that very interesting things that are going on in the drawing, because when you're sketching it out, that's where all the energy is. And then if you deconstruct it too much, it really does like kill the, I can think of a good like energy, or just the form gets broken and looks kind of like copy paste, kind of like a collage instead of an intended form. Yeah, looking over the handle should be good. Yeah, that's the thing that I've always been careful about. I'd be a much better artist if I would just not be afraid of flattening and destroying the work, because I like I like when things are wonky. I don't know what this new thing is. When you miss it, there's some program error. Yeah, I don't know. So if you don't pick the line, it won't pick it. It won't move anything for you, and then it says program error. Very weird. All right. So let's do a very weird, boring, maybe a little bit more intense kind of ceramic mug. Kind of, no, that's too dark. Maybe more adult. Oh, there we go. Nice. Abyss Fund, Carolina. Nice. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Rosa. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I say, especially while you're young, go everywhere. I mean, I don't understand that mentality of, oh, when we're older, we're going to really see the world. It's like the last thing you want is to eat weird food and have really stressful, things happening when you're in your 60s and 70s. It's much better to do that when you're young, and you can take a punch and you can walk 10 miles and you can do stuff that is probably not going to go well if you're elderly. Oh, let's stay with the pink. Yeah, I don't understand that, traveling when I guess if you're just going to, spend ridiculous amounts of money at, and stay in, kind of all-inclusive hotel situations, sure, do that. Because you got more money when you're older. Maybe. But you definitely, it's going to be much harder. So I'd understand that retirement traveling. I think by the time I'm, let's not go bigger than that. Retirement age, I just want to figure out where I want to be and be there. Yeah. But that was the interesting thing my friend said, is that, and he kind of, grew up in a small town and, was happy staying in that area, and, didn't quite know what he wanted to do with his life. But the first time he had to travel so got a job, and then he had to travel for it. And the first time he had to travel for business to a foreign country was like, okay, wait a minute. Everything is really different here. And I was thinking pretty small about what I wanted to do with my life. And yeah, it helped him sort out a lot of things. So that's very, very cool. Because I think definitely the pressure definitely the small town pressure is just, get married, have kids as early as possible, make your parents grandchildren, and then everyone's happy. And that doesn't always turn out to be the case. But yeah, it was good to see someone, happy with their decisions and kind of feeling happy where they were with their life. That's rare, maybe especially for people here, because I don't think expats are particularly happy people. They're a little bit difficult. All right. Let's do, maybe like this. So yeah, I want this to look really plasticky. And this really ceramic-y. All right. Maybe one more. Yeah, but the faster, like the earlier in life you can figure out who you are and be happy with that. I think it's just, then you just spend your time, you don't waste your time, trying things or trying to be something that you aren't. I think that's really, really important to not, because I definitely have some friends that have weird images of themselves, or they admire things or kinds of people that they absolutely are not. They're almost the opposite of, but they ape this like intellectual style or this, I don't know, these certain things that it's like, that's so not you and you can't do it very well, but they feel very, I don't know. They think this is the type of person I want to be, so I'm just going to pretend to be this. I don't know. It's very strange. I can't quite figure it out, but it makes you really unhappy when you like feel like you're constantly failing all the time at who you want to be. You just kind of figure out who that is, and then it's easy to be that person because that's all you know how to do. But people that are kind of, and maybe that's like a American small town or suburban kind of thing where you're just aspiring to this like idealistic image of like who you are, who you want to be, and it's never it's never very down to earth. It's always very weird and aspirational. People get these weird ideas about what they want out of life, and it takes a long time before they figure out that's not even possible. It's not even a thing. Yeah, it's odd. And especially like, some of those people are parents. That's the thing that's crazy, is like you're so unresolved in your life who you are and who you want to be, and you're going to pass that on. This like weird discontent, you're going to pass that on to your kids because they're going to feel it, even if you're not intentionally doing it. They're going to feel it. Yeah. So it's hard. I mean, that's like the number one thing you have to do is figure out. And I'm terrible at that because I can't even do it creatively. I can't even decide like what one thing I want to focus on. So I'm giving advice that I cannot possibly take myself, but I think that leads to a lot more happiness when you just kind of get it figured out early. All right. Safety or which one contained the higher percent of alcohol? Baby cup jokes. Or where his other handle fell off. A vestigious, what is the word? Vestigious? Yeah, there's not another syllable in there, is it? Vestigious handle. So one of them had either grown or lost a handle. So between the two of them, or they had to understand who had lost or grown. And either with an ER. Their best guess. But one of this is too long. Had either lost or grown a handle. It's too wordy. Is there a... Lost or grown an extra, a second handle? Okay, sure. Lost, their best guess was that one of them had either lost or grown an extra handle. Or grow, oh yeah, it says extra need to be in there, and a handle. Lost a handle or grown a handle, yeah. No extra. Okay, nope. No Latin, please. Oh, come on. Jeez. Oh, that's better. Yeah, it used to be that if you canceled out of a text layer, it would still leave it there as a blank layer, and which is really hard to find. And so they fixed that in this version. That's good. I'll slowly. This will be my slow review of the latest version of Photoshop. Okay, so their best guess was that one of them. Their best guess was that one of them had either lost or grown a handle. But who and where and what? Okay, cool. I guess I'll just keep making these JPEGs as we go so I don't forget. I will forget to upload them, but... all right. Oh, business in my own game suffers because my best friend, a game group, because my best friend became a hover parent and convinced himself he cannot make time for anything. Oh, that sucks. Abyss. Yeah, game group stuff is hard. You might be evil. Oh, I'm missing this. I mean, in groups where I must suffer the consequences of people decide to have kids. Yeah, that's been really hard here because I think that is if you get married, the only reason to get married in Japan is to have kids. Like they can't even imagine childless parents. It's just like infuriating, and maybe because the birth rate is so low, it's like, come on, you're making things worse. So everybody that I know had to have kids, and sooner rather than later, just within a few years, had to. So yeah, that just becomes really disruptive. And yeah, like you're talking about, yeah, a hover parent that cannot possibly, or is just so stressed, or their partner is so stressed by parenting that they need to always be doing it together because one of them doing it by themselves just falls apart or gets too stressed out. We find a way to pull the children of man, so I get some people at the table. Yeah, that's so frustrating. And it's just the age thing, because eventually you get old enough, no one's going to have kids around anymore. You have all the time in the world for gaming. But who wants to game with old people? Yeah, that's tough. Just that, depending on what stage, in your life things are happening. Okay, 3. Okay, so let's take a look at the... Where are they? Yeah, the last month's stuff. I think I did these last few on stream. Where's OBS? Where is OBS? All right. There we go. Okay, sorry about the handle coming out of nowhere. I'll get that figured out. So, is this the... Let's double check the last one. Yeah. So March 13th, the burnt-in screen was his only memory of better times, and it's Pong. I tried to do... I don't think I've got the burnt-in screen thing right, but it's close enough. And I like how the score changed so little that it is burnt in. Let's see what the... I loved playing Pong, of course. I don't think it was necessary to put the word Pong in there. Everybody knows that screen. At least around when it first appeared. I was around, but never played. Oh, nice. You remember they had the Pong unit? It was the TV unit for Pong and had the 2 dials, not joysticks or anything, just dials. And that's all it played. It was just a machine, a Pong machine, and you just hooked it up to the RF on the television, and you just sat right next to each other, because it was probably only about that wide, just turning these dials to play Pong, and the machine said Pong on it, and yeah. Everybody knows that screen. The screen, the mini, MIDI, maxi size now. Yeah, they sure do. Yeah, I don't even think you could get away with... That was such a simple idea, and having 2 people competing on a television screen to do something, you know, as simple as the virtual table tennis or digital, whatever table tennis. Electric, I'm sure it was like electronic table tennis is how they marketed it. Yeah. And I like the little spider web. I had to put that in there to make sure everyone knew it was old. All right, so March 11th. She wasn't interested in anything he was capable of pouring. Oh, this elitist, snobby little glass. How about a beertini? Nice. And what's the other one? Come on, nothing wrong with a pitcher of martinis. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can do pitchers of martinis now. He was mostly light beer, it looked like. Oh, come on. I hope they get this fixed. Sometimes the images are broken. So March 6th. They were responsible for many things now being an unpleasant bright green, including the Grinch and Shrek. Nice one, Auntman. Nice. March 4th, broken. Come on, March 4th. The intended effect was now secondary to the more desirable side effects. Oh, Viagra. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's so many things that were like accidental discoveries, like the side effect ended up being the more marketable thing. So they ended up, was it blood pressure? It was blood pressure medicine or something that Viagra came from, and they realized all the patients that were taking it were like, had raging hard-ons all the time. So they're like, wait a minute here, we'd make much more money. If these people have strokes, that's fine, but wait a minute, there's much more to be... much more money to be made that way. Yeah, and I think even like everything, like all the weird stuff, like the hair restoration drugs and stuff, a lot of that stuff was all like accidental discoveries. He's described desirable. Nice. Oh, so was this a reply? Desirable effect Viagra. Nice. All right. February 27th. I think, yeah, I did all of these on stream, right? In a perfect world, he could hold both potato chips and tennis balls. Come on. But unfortunately, the balls came in only one flavor. Auntman, I got to hire this guy to write my cartoons. He's much funnier. All right. I think we did these. Oh, but they're not liked, so I guess maybe not. He hoped that his contents were less bleak. So these weren't his contents, they're the contents of another I guess I should have had an empty bag there, like a bag laying on its side, because it is a little unclear. It looks like he could have spilled those out because he could still have his shape and be empty. But it's supposed to be busted pieces of potato chips and a brown banana, but contents of PB&J, so his hope... Come on. Is it? There we go. Realize the banana, however, became an ingredient in bread. All right. Where else are we going here? Okay, so I think we were here. Yep, he hated the awkward vulnerability of the store shelf corner. End caps. Yeah, so we did those before. All right, yeah, so just a few weeks of... so I wonder what they're going to do to kind of upgrade things. Yeah, so you can see at the top, coming soon, beginning of April. So yeah, my next stream will have a brand new Go Comics. Nice. That's cool. Hopefully it'll still work well on this stream. Nice. Yeah, so if you want to read if you want to go back 20 years, if you feel like you need that much abuse, gocomics.com/domestic abuse is the, and it's in the description for the video. If you want to go through and read all that. All right, we got a few more to do here. Okay, is everyone hanging in there? Nice. Yeah, so sorry, I know it's getting super late. All right. Sorry, just checking to make sure we're still live somewhere. Who knows? Who even knows? Yeah, right. So yeah, I'm just on I'm on both YouTubes. Nice. All right, let's keep at this here. Get our 3 or 4 weeks of cartooning in. All right. What kinds of nonsense? I guess we're drawing what, utensils now? So yeah. Oh yeah, another friend, and this was solely online. Another friend I got back in touch with has a daughter of triplets. That was amazing. That went to the same art school I did for her BFA. So she's got, I think, like until fall left, and doesn't know, what the heck to do. And that's definitely the thing, with a fine arts degree. There's very little room, especially if you go into painting and drawing, there's very little room in the world for you. Like it's like 3% or whatever of people that get a fine arts degree actually end up, working as, gallery artists. But yeah, so she asked if I could talk to her, if we could like arrange a time to do a Skype or a Zoom kind of thing, and just talk to her about like what was going on with me at that time. And that was the worst possible timing for me, because I just finished my undergraduate degree. I did a really big film my third year and was supposed to do like a final film, and I started this like paint on glass, really complicated thing. There was no way I was ever going to get it done. There were so many students with a few limited cameras, camera stands, animation, stands. A few people, or so many people trying to get everything done. There was just no way to physically get it done. It would just be, weeks and weeks of me in there, messing with paint on glass, while other people are, trying to get their stuff done as well. So I didn't finish it. So I just used my third year film as kind of my thesis film, and didn't feel very satisfied. Still, I fulfilled all the requirements, so I still graduated, but I didn't have like a big, kind of like, this is my, master work. This is the big thing that's going to, catapult me into, that I can show people, and it'll catapult me into like, studio work. What is going on here? Studio work or whatever. be impressive enough, at least to get like attention at film festivals or whatever. That didn't happen. So then the girl that I was living with decided she's going to grad school. So we moved to upstate New York, in a university town in upstate New York. Jesus, what a hellhole. There's no jobs. It's basically the, very tip of Appalachia. So there's, nobody's got any work, very limited jobs, very low paying work. And unless you have a job at the university, you just got nothing. So I did like I was working like 3 different jobs and just like not doing anything creative. Like I was changing tires and running projectors at the, Cineplex movie theater and doing the first dishwashing, then prep cook stuff at this restaurant. Like just the worst possible, like, why did I even go to school kind of feeling. But it was only for 3 years, 2 years. I think we were there a total of 3 years. And they did have good internet in those early days because it was a university town. But that was a really, really hard time of like, what the fuck? Why did I even bother? Because there was no way to, even the art school at the university was very insular. There was no way for me to get in there. I only had a bachelor's degree. And so unless I was going to attend the school, that I wasn't going to get, I wasn't going to be hanging around there. I don't understand. Okay, let's click this button here. No, it's not. I don't know why sometimes it gives me that error. That's very weird. But yeah, very strange time. So it'll be good to kind of, talk to someone that's might be in that same kind of position and let them know. Because all the advice you get, especially from the school, is just terrible. It's like, well, what do you want to do? Why don't you work at a film processing, laboratory? Like, what? Okay, I guess. What is that? That's the ass end of anything that I want to do. I guess I could take advantage, like develop my own films, cheaply or whatever. I could take advantage of that situation slightly to get a little bit of a break on a very expensive thing. And then the frustrating thing for me is that everything started to go digital. So I literally in school learned optical printing and and spent hundreds of dollars to get prints of my short animations on 16mm film. So ridiculous. And then everything went digital and all of that knowledge was obsolete, as well as like any machines I would have bought. I just recently threw away a bunch of my split reels for 16mm and my editing stuff, like only someone that was really obsessed with doing something very analog would even go near that stuff. But I had a bunch of film equipment and it was all useless. And then I got a PC or a Mac, and then that was it. I was doing digital animation. But yeah, that was tough. All right, what are we doing here? This is a... Oh, there we go. Okay, let's do this. All right, this is the new obsession for this week here. All right. Okay, learn how to. Let's see what this thing is. I don't want... Shut up. Program errors. It's not saved? Oh my god. Yeah, I might have the scratch discs or something not set up right. I don't know what that is. All right, so a broken handle. There we go. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder what it's trying to tell me. The explanation is garbage. Of course, because it's Adobe. It's on the Adobe website. This is its own layer. Oh, okay. That's the problem. Trying to move something that doesn't want to move on its own. All right. Somebody just upset a whole lot of little birds. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy chirping outside. Probably the crows and the whatevers are fighting over those big trees out there. All right. Should we bend the spoon? Yeah, let's duplicate it just in case it doesn't go well. There's another digital shortcut. So something that looks absolutely wrong. All right. Come on. That's really frustrating. There's something that's not configured right that they're not going to tell me. Okay, these guys got to be bigger, I think. Come on. Yeah, it's memory problems. Yeah, that doesn't look like a coffee spoon. Okay, so let's have the broken thing behind him. And then the bent thing. Let's flip this. Yeah, oh, that did you miss the... I guess because it's... I don't know. There's some sort of memory thing that's going on here. It keeps giving me this weird error. Very frustrating. Or maybe it's a... who knows? A big FU from Photoshop. All right. All right, let's do a... they were determined to still make a half-decent cup of coffee, maybe a little bit lighter. There we go. All right, and then do like a pottery, like exposed ceramic thing here. All right, sorry, I got my bad Photoshop explanation up. Yes, right, Abyss. Yeah, basically, yeah, choosing to become an actor is about as ridiculous. Oh, yeah. So Thursday, yeah. So it'll be Thursday here. So it'll be Wednesday night for the weekly. Yes. Yeah, and so people actually go to LA to become artists as well, because there's some production work. The concept art and all that stuff. There's a lot of kind of artwork. Let's do the two-tone mug. In Hollywood as well. And that pays, really, it's ridiculously overpaid, so that pays good. All right. All right. Yeah, I think that'll work. But no, you can definitely find, but you find your way in things, because as soon as I got to Los Angeles, as soon as I got to upstate New York, I realized, yeah, there is a lot of jobs for what I want to do. And especially because I went into animation at the end of my art degree, there was a ton of work, working in comics and animation and illustration and cartooning and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot going on. You just need to be in, and that's why actors go to New York or LA, because otherwise you got to make all the work yourself. You got to make the opportunity yourself, and that's really hard and punishing. All right, and will never pay very well. Yeah, so that's the frustrating thing, I think, with creative work, is it forces you to go to places you probably don't want to live. I could see a lot of the people that worked in animation in Hollywood not particularly happy they had to live in Southern California, especially because if you're not paid really, really well in Southern California, you're living in the desert, and being poor in the desert fucking sucks. So you want to get the best possible job you can in that horrible place, so you can have a nice car and nice air conditioning, because living any other way there is, very, very hard on the psyche. All right, something like that. Oh, come on. All right. All right, all busted up. They're still going to make some coffee. Yeah, just zoom all this in a little bit. It's got some small pieces, so it seems kind of lost. I don't know. I don't know the scale of this cartoon anymore. It just changes so much. Yeah, at least, well, I guess, if you do like, small theater stuff as an actor, you can stay satisfied. But at least with art, you can kind of satisfy yourself. You can keep doing it, even if it's not getting an audience or recognition or whatever. But acting is something people have to ask you to do. And a lot of times they won't even pay you. All right. So they were still determined make an amazing cup of coffee. Ink. They were still determined to make an amazing cup of coffee. Bent and broken. All right. Something like that. All busted up. I'm so glad all my actions and stuff are in the same place. I think it is, because I think it's all Creative Cloud folders, so that's good. Yeah, I was worried when the settings were wrong that I have to redo everything. This has been so long. I think this is like 2 years or something since I've updated this evil software. Is that right? Yeah, I can't believe it's 2025. That's sick. Sick and disgusting. Yeah. Oh, but the cool thing is every city has kind of a, an arts community, an arts neighborhood, people, being creative and doing stuff, so you just have to, yeah, find those people. All right, loaf of bread. Just going with the old classics. All right. So we'll do the bread in the bag deal. And something. It looks like a giant fried shrimp. Yeah, what is a weird... Oh, a weird bread component. I think I've drawn too many bags of bread looking at a slice of bread. Butter. Yeah, maybe just like a stick of butter. I don't know if I'm able to do the make it clear that it's like a. Oh, I can do what, pound of butter or whatever, the half a pound. Yeah, we'll do like this kind with the kind of paper, wax paper wrap. Yikes. Because it's a stick of butter, and then if it's that larger one for baking, we can cut it. I think, yeah, most of the time it is like 4 sticks of... And what does that make? 1 stick is like a 1/4 pound? I forget. I'm all metric now, folks. All my milligrams, grams and milligrams. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, whenever I have a reason to go back, it's not like I'm going to be cooking for anybody. All right, let's get both of these to fit in here a little bit better. Oh, sorry. Let's do a nice bright blue. The bread. And then bright yellow, but a little bit muted, because it's got that wax paper around it for the butter. All right, and then the middle bready cover. Something like that. Yes, I've been watching the latest season of White Lotus, and just there's a lot. It felt like there's a lot more going on, because it's kind of intolerable rich assholes, at expensive hotels is the story, but they're all, there's a murder. The gimmick of the show is there's a murder that they reveal in the first episode, and then you spend the whole season figuring out who gets murdered. And so it's a very tense, like all of these things could be going wrong. All of these like motivations are developing. So kind of like a reverse whodunit kind of thing, or it has that whodunit kind of element to it, part of the gimmick. And yeah, this season I think that they're just getting too caught up in they're in Thailand and too caught up in like respecting the culture or showing the, you know, something interesting or different about Thailand. They don't have the like in Italy they had that gimmick where it was a group of like a father, son, and grandfather going to, you know, discover their roots. They're all Italian Americans and they're going to go find, you know, find the people they're related to in some shitty little village in Italy. And they end up getting hooked up with some prostitute, like local prostitutes that are going to be their guides or something. I forget the, but there was, yeah, some scamming of the tourists going on in that episode. But there was like stuff happening. And this one is just like, it's all building up because the thing that they tease in the first episode is like a automatic weapons massacre at the hotel. So it's a much bigger scale, and you know you get that right away. So I'm not spoiling too much, but I think that ends up being too big. So there's, you know, guns showing up and there's people kind of in desperate situations, characters, but it's like, how are they getting there? And is that all we're waiting for? Is that reveal? There's no other like smaller, you know, build up or tension going on. It was really, and I've seen people saying it's brilliant, but I just don't, it's really hard this season to get into it. I don't know how anybody else is feeling, but yeah, I have not enjoyed the. Just didn't seem so painful and like, because they're not relieving any of this build up, but it's not an intense build up. We know and that's right. There's only one episode left. Yeah, we're on the very last episode. I don't get what they're going for in this one. I thought I got the show in previous seasons, like what they were trying to do. But this one's got me very uninterested. I don't think any of the characters are particularly good either. All right. Bread and butter. So I'm making fun of that term, bread and butter. Oh, seeing Matt isn't here. I was over in Japan at the moment with the whole. Oh, I think Japan's a little worried that they're going to get tariffed, but they don't really, care so much. I don't think there's I mean, of course, all my liberal expat friends are freaking out and don't want to talk about anything, any politics. But I think Japan is just worried that they're going to get penalized, tariffed for their electronics and cars and stuff, which they already kind of are because some of them are built in Mexico and Canada. But they're going to be forced to work with, doing domestic manufacturing like Taiwan and Apple, are, because there is a 700% tariff on American rice because Japan protects their domestic rice market, and people grow these rice in these little tiny fields here, just in the middle of neighborhoods. Then there's a big difference between the American and Japanese rice. Like any Japanese person could tell that. But even with a 700% tariff, American rice is still cheaper than domestic Japanese rice right now. So it's kind of frustrating. And I've heard that some of the restaurants, restaurants that do the stuff on top of rice, the donburi kind of restaurants, the gyudon kind of places, they're already buying American rice and kind of mixing it in, because you can't tell once the rice gets all soupy and, has a bunch of junk on top of it. When you're just eating a bowl of plain white rice, you can definitely tell an American from a import rice. But I don't know. Yeah, so that's a big. They're talking about that a lot right now. Japan's got a really shitty prime minister right now, who is not going to be able to do anything for the country. The talk is he's going to be out next month. His party's going to replace him. But then we're just going to be in that weird cycle where Japan has a different prime minister every year because nobody can get anything done. But I just hope that nothing encourages China to move against Taiwan. Yeah, I'm hoping that America backing out of, Ukraine, and they're not backing out of Gaza, but their attempt to, to completely devastate and then turn into some tourist destination. Gaza will free up resources that China will see as, a deterrent to taking over Taiwan. But that also seems like what the cooperation between the Taiwanese companies and America is, that the 500 billion or whatever they committed to doing for for American domestic manufacturing for chips and things. The things that Taiwan does is kind of an escape plan for if China does go to grab everything, those companies can just flee like they fled, mainland China back during the Cultural Revolution, and be based in America. But the last thing I heard is that those factories, sorry, that those factories can't staff. They're having trouble staffing because you can't get Americans to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and that's what those places need. So I don't know if the economics of it works very well, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's what they're mostly worried about, is how aggressive China is being, and somebody just needs to, act as a deterrent. And who knows? It would really suck if business deals between America and China started to interfere, started to damage Japan more than it already has been. All right. So, yeah, buttering an entire loaf of bread. So, something beyond bread and butter. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think the whole world is going, what the fuck right now, because America's always worked as this, economic, I don't know, it's one of the biggest or second biggest markets, and kept, kind of world global business alive after the war, and or at least, patrolled. They became the security force for all the shipping routes and everything. So to see, a market that affects everybody, that affects the world being so crazy, and then also the Wall Street getting so afraid of what's coming, that's really destabilizing. And it really doesn't feel like there is a plan. It just feels like a bunch of weird random intimidation and what are you going to do for us? I don't know. It's really weird. It's like calling in all your accounts, and I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. The plan is to be the most hated nation on earth. I think they were pretty close. They're almost there anyhow, so it's not going to take that much. Well, I'm just happy to see. I hope I don't want to. There might be somebody that's very pro this technology, but I would just love to see the end of the electric car, because the electric car is such a farce, that I'm just glad. I don't care anything about the person or his politics or even the companies, but I just am disgusted by this, like, electric cars are going to save the world bullshit. It's just like the technology is just not feasible, and you're still burning a fuck of a lot of oil to make the electricity to put in those cars. So it doesn't make any sense. You're just moving the pollution somewhere else, and since you're not, seeing it settling over the city skylines, you're like, oh, well, we fixed it. The world's all set now. It's ridiculous. I should do some writing on top of the butter. Couldn't commit to buttering all that bread. She couldn't. Maybe so much. All that. And she just couldn't commit to buttering so much bread. It's one of those jokes that, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, over here we're scrambling and looking who will stand the tallest and form new bonds. Yeah, but my country wants to play it safe. Yeah. It's rough because I think isn't like the whole reason for the EU is just to be a combined strong enough economic force to back America down from certain, ambitions and markets and things. So yeah, you've got to have some unification and be willing to. That was the thing I always liked, and this is like more Cold War times, but about Russia and France. Like in the UN and everything, they're always this voice of fuck you, America. Like, so America never got off easy, like doing something that's obviously only in their interest. They would always have opposition. What tool am I using here? They would always have opposition from Russia and France, just because they were being contrarian. But that's like a necessary thing for a country with as many resources and ambitions as the U.S. All right. There's a butter logo. Oh, of course I put it on the same layer. Fuck, let's just do it again. Okay. Different layer. Yeah, the thing that's really interesting in America, and this is like happening at the same time as Trump, is America's like blind commitment to Israel that's always existed is creating this weird contradiction in a lot of like liberal politics. I think I talked about this before in the stream, creating this weird contradiction in liberal politics, and then this worship of the great, these ubermensch tech bros that America has had for a long time. Finally realizing that's not these guys are not going to make anything better for me. They're going to make everything better for themselves. I think that's some very interesting realizations that are going on in the U.S. because every Southern California and anybody connected with any kind of technology worshipped Elon Musk like 10, 15 years ago. And he's a god. This guy's amazing. Like they really admired all that PayPal mafia. All those characters coming out of that scene as like this is there were these aspirational figures, and they really had that knew where things were headed, and it's just no, they want some really bad things. They want to put you in a fucking corner and take away everything you have and make you eat this mysterious processed protein to survive and go fuck yourself. Yeah, to create a scale of have and have nots that we've never even seen before. Yeah, it's really crazy, but it's so funny that, yeah, both of those things have just totally flipped from where they were like 10, 15 years ago. Very interesting. Okay, she just couldn't commit to buttering so much bread. See, this is what this is a political comment on support for Ukraine, and I don't. Yes, my zero subtext cartoons. That's why they're infuriating, because you can plug in whatever you like. Oh, I better check that I don't have any weird random typos. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know. Oh, that's insane. That's new. That's a new... Oh, that's insane. So if I write... Oh, that's crazy. Sorry, I don't mean to be so... So if I write... I don't know... let's something that I can probably write easily. Eat. It will spell check that. That's insane. When it spell checks the whole document, it will spell check handwriting that it recognizes. That's insane. That's so funny. Oops. Very weird. What's going on here? There we go. Sorry. That's weird, because, yeah, my little loops, it saw as a C, an E, and an E. That's crazy. So, yeah, it'll do character recognition and spell check even things you wrote on in your designs. That's so funny. Wow, that's new. Might be a little annoying, but because I always do like fake, loopy logos and stuff that aren't supposed to spell anything. Wow. That's really surprising. I don't know why the keyboard shortcuts aren't working though. Maybe just a memory thing. I should restart. That's crazy. So what does it do if I want to change the spelling? That's weird. Yeah, it's not going to emulate my handwriting, is it? Yeah, that's weird. Make it look more like an E or an A. Crazy. Oh, unnecessary. I'm sure there's a lot of AI doing double duty. Yeah, that's really weird. Oh wait, no. So it doesn't. It converts. Wait a minute. It makes a text layer out of, I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, I better read about the new Photoshop changes, because this is some weird shit. All right. Where's my tabs? All right, whatever. All right, reduce this. That's weird. I think it makes, when it recognizes characters, it makes a text layer so that it can sort it out. But I don't know how you would edit that. It's very weird. There's some weird connection they're doing now, which I probably should just turn off, because I don't need my handwriting spell checked. That's really bizarre. Nope. All right. Yeah, I'm not getting the tab. Very strange. Nice. Yeah, hand drawing spell check. Yeah, I don't know like what it's doing, but it recognized my handwriting, and then it created an invisible text layer that it thought I wrote CEEE just for that logo. Was just a squiggle, but then it put it in there, and then when I did the spell check, it ran that as well and said, "Did you want to say CEEE?" So something is powering that, which I don't think. Oh, this was not saved. Yikes. Which, well, I guess it doesn't, like, character recognition doesn't have to be AI, but I'm sure, some ugly form of something. It would be funny, though, if you could change the spelling of something you wrote and it would kind of try to make your F into a T or whatever. That would be pretty wild. That would have to be AI because it was using your stuff. Oh, wait. No, I didn't see. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I missed your comments, Ibis. What's even stranger is how they cut spending in their own countries and then want others to spend more. Yes. How much more money they pour into that. Yeah, yeah. That's not going to work. Best to stop before Matt starts getting a tingle. And Matt wakes up and says, wait, what's going on here? So Mr. Majors, the latest stuff after Disney tried to push him to come back. Oh, no way. Oh, the Kang, the actor? Was that his yeah. I saw a headline that was saying that they might try to bring, was that his name? I don't remember the actor's name. Yeah, I saw the headline that they might be talking like things are cooled down enough, and that guy's got to get better taste in women. Yeah, I mean, you can't have a career. You can't have a career with it when you're going to be in shouting matches and stuff on the street with your girlfriends. With everybody being a paparazzi now, that's not going to make things very easy for you. Oh boy. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, let me see I saw that headline. I was wondering if they were going to try that. I really don't think that's, that's not a good character. And the way he was portrayed was not very interesting either. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, that's right. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah. And I guess because that means they're really going to stick with the multiverse thing then. But Kang was in the first Secret Wars, I think. Yeah, the funny thing, that was kind of heartbreaking. And of course, I should have realized that everything from my childhood is just a bunch of commercialized crap to sell toys. But I didn't realize that specifically the Secret Wars in the Marvel Universe was only that. They just put all the recognizable heroes together and we'll just make a whole line of Secret Wars, action figures from that. And I totally fell for it. I don't think I bought a lot of action figures, but I loved that original series. But it was just a crass commercial attempt to here's our, top heroes and here's our top villains. And now we're going to make, plastic crap of all of this that now you're interested in. That was really depressing that it was just a like a deal with Mattel or whoever had the license at the time to give them a reason to make more toys. Yeah, I don't know. And all the actors that are, having their roid rage because they got to look, extra amazing on camera. So they're doing horrible things to their bodies that are making them very angry people. Yeah, I don't think none of that's going to go well. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, and I don't understand because he was in something. He had a big role before Kang that got him attention, I thought. And then suddenly he was this golden boy, that they had to have for Marvel, for the big bad in Marvel. And just that in Quantumania, that scene at the end where you saw the billion Kangs in the stadium and the kind of the Coliseum thing. It's like already I'm like so uninterested in anything that's going on with that because it just kind of dilutes that character into nothing. Like who cares? Kind of like that Rick and Morty gimmick where there's the planet of Rick and Mortys where they all meet. It's like, okay, whatever. That's just diluting the characters into. I mean, it's a funny joke, but it's just like it doesn't make. Doesn't help for the stakes and the. You're getting connected to anything that's going on with these characters. Yeah, but that means that they want to stick with their multiverse thing. Yeah, I think because it wasn't even, I guess, it started, was that Paramount or whatever? The first Iron Man wasn't even a Disney Marvel thing. So their first success wasn't even their own. They just, capitalized on it. And then the next two Iron Man films were garbage. They were terrible. So if that would have just been a thing, if there would have been no MCU building from there, and they would have had those little end scenes with I'm trying to put together the Avengers or whatever, if they wouldn't have those little Avengers teasers, and it was just those three Iron Man films, it would have just gone away. People would have been like, ugh, yeah, they tried that again. And Iron Man, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. definitely was important for the whole like tone and how everything worked for those films, but just those Iron Man films were not great. And they seemed a bit cranked out just because they wanted to keep that weird schedule. Yeah, my little brother worked at the games studio, Marvel Games. I think were trying to bring stuff in-house. When that was plotted out. And in 2008, I think he came to Japan and he showed me a spreadsheet of the next 5 years of what they were going to do with the MCU. I think it was was it more than 5 years? It seems like a really, really long time. So maybe it was more than 5 years, and maybe he had visited earlier. But it was until I remember like the date 2013. And everything they were going to do, I'm like, holy shit. And these are all going to be connected to the same storyline. That was like incredibly new. And they were just lucky with the timing and what they were going up against. I think that even worked because they can't, the people that made that possible and everything are not even there. And oh man, I think we have hugely overestimated the ability of the Russo brothers. That Electric State movie was such a piece of what the fuck, that was really, really bad. That's weird source material. I think all of Simon Stoltenhag's books are very strange source material, and I think the Amazon Tales from the Loop series got the tone right, the kind of like, this is not of a particular specific time or a specific place. This is just a weird thing that looks like this affected by technology. I don't know what I'm drawing here. I think they got the tone right, and they told some, Twilight Zone kind of interesting stories in that setting. But God, that his stuff is not summer blockbuster, wacky popcorn movie, world building. That was so bizarre. I don't know what that was. Some review that I read was saying that it was like a movie trying to convince you that it was a movie the whole time because it barely had characters and a plot and dialogue. It was just like, yeah, this is entertainment, and you are gonna probably be entertained, and this is working, right? Because it's like Mad Libs, the movie development. These guys are incredibly overrated directors, I think. They don't know what works and what doesn't work. They just got really lucky, whatever they were handed. I mean, because it was just the climax of so much that had gone into, I mean, they could probably do that again. If you've got 8 years or whatever of storylines building up, it's like, oh, give us a finale. And they could probably do that. But as far as like world building and storytelling, they suck. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I saw the Electric State. And I read through because I hadn't even read the original source material. And the original source material is very like weird impressionistic like little fragments of narrative and images, or like descriptions of what's going on, and then images, like really stark images. And his gimmick is just something mundane with a something odd, like out of place technology. And in this case, it was like dead technology. So these big, cheesy commercial robots that were now just, wreckage and ruin, and just like littering this landscape of like Southwest America. But it didn't even quite look like that. And it had like the models of cars and things he chose to use made it very confusing, like the time that it was. And I think they just went with the 90s for the movie. Or I guess maybe 80s, because everyone had like kind of big hair, kind of. And there was a bunch of like Muzak versions of like 80s, like Journey and like 80s music. But it was totally wrong. It was like everything about it was wrong. And I don't know why anybody would have approved it. It was, anyone would have greenlit it just based on their reputation alone. I think they've spent all of their capital that they've accrued from their success with the end of the Thanos storyline. Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, right. Yep, $320 million budget. And what they decided to do with seeing like the wreckage of these like kind of mascot, kind of kids cartoon mascot robots, is just make them these automated tin toys from hell. Like they're all like very creepy looking, but they look like 1930s or 40s tin toys. They don't look like more modern advertising, advertising characters or mascots. So it was very strange. It just like none of it made any sense. It was all like a bunch of stuff mashed together that was just like very disturbing, because Mr. Peanut was like the leader of the robot rebellion, and his design was shit. I don't know if they went with an earlier look of his or something, but it was like weird uncanny valley stuff, because he made facial expressions and stuff. And I guess they had to have that because he had to be able to act, not just his voice, but that didn't make any sense. You'd have a, concerned looking Peanut. And just the whole idea of like a robot rebellion when it's all like, Disney looking mascots and stuff was really dumb. It looked really silly, like giant metal teddy bears, wrecking the place. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. Oh, that's right, because he was Thanos in the Loki streaming series. I realize Jonathan Majors is an amazing actor. Yeah, what was he? He can't handle these bitches. Just tell them I'm fucking, what was his Kang? I'm Kang the Conqueror, bitch. Do not take my cell phone. So stupid. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I just couldn't. I mean, definitely they spent that all on CG. And it was weird. I wonder how much of that was really shitty, green screen acting and stuff. And then a lot of the, because there were robots that you could like put on the VR helmet and control, but you could also like kind of split your consciousness into a VR world, and the robot could kind of be a copy of you that did shit. So your face is on this little like shitty green monitor. And so the Gus Fring, the Esposito, his most of his scenes were the little like video of him in a robot's face looking all angry. But he went back to his like more like, if you remember his roles in like early 90s and stuff, he went back to talking more. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or I don't know where he's from, Dominican or something, but he talked less fring and like very, always the sophisticated villain to being just a little bit more pissed off. And so that was funny to hear him not do his same villain voice. And again, but yeah, the budget on that was silly. I don't even know. It's just not good source material. I hope that this doesn't ruin that artist, the Simon Stollenhag. I hope it doesn't ruin his, future doing stuff. Because I could see it, that setting based on that book being a kind of interesting RPG, tabletop RPG, but not a Netflix big budget, weird movie. I don't know how that deal happened. All right, I've got one more to do here. Now I'm getting stuck. I guess because I'm running out of... I must have one more of these delicious Crunkies. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They did what they did, like a Batwoman or Batgirl or Batwoman movie, and then they're just like, forget that. Let's just throw that away. And Michael Keaton was in that. That's right. Oh, wow. Wow. So, the Joker director is the Hangover director, right? That's the same guy. He's so strange. Because I really liked The Hangover when it came out. It was like a very like different kind of comedy, and there'd so few comedies that weren't romantic comedies at the time. But it seems like he hates sequels, or he just like sequels just make him go haywire because his sequels are always terrible. They ruin the original film. Like I think the Hangover sequels ruined that first film. And I understand why they undid anything that they were doing with the first Joker movie in the second movie, and just to make it a disturbing musical. I think he just hates sequels that much. Yeah, that's very funny. It's going to be weird, all this stuff falling apart. And kind of what's left. It really does suck that whatever Netflix is doing for its business model, it seems to be working. So they're making money, so they're not going to stop. And that just means finding a big name director and just throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at them and say, do something. Because there's been like a huge Michael Bay Netflix movie. I think this is the first Russo brothers Netflix stuff. The other stuff they did for Amazon, I don't remember. They did a bunch of stuff that wasn't good. But they just like picking, and The Irishman, they just like threw money at Scorsese and said, yeah, make a 4.5 hour movie, whatever, who the fuck cares, and do like weird digital de-aging on Robert De Niro, so he can't get out of a chair fast enough to look like a 30-year-old man. Yeah, that's really weird. But it's kind of like the that subscription model, like the satellite radio model, was kind of the same thing in America. Once Sirius Satellite bought XM, all they did is just give these $100 million contracts to celebrities. So they'd have a name on the channel and they would do a half-ass show, or their friends would do the actual radio show, but they had their name on it. And they would just throw money at people. So Netflix is doing that same thing, and it must be keeping subscriptions or whatever, making them seem like top tier or something. It's so strange. But yeah, I think they are making money at streaming, whereas everybody else is a loss leader. Yeah, right. That's a good point. Yes, right. If Stephen King can survive all those bad movies, yeah. You mean are you referring to Maximum Overdrive? Isn't that the one he wrote and not directed, but like he was the most involved with? And then his the remakes of The Shining. Yeah, it really is. I don't understand. And yeah, that's right. We're getting the beginning, supposedly the that Monster Squad or whatever, that stupid Universal Monsters superhero group was the beginning of this new DC cinematic thing. But Superman. Yeah, we're getting Superman this year. So we'll see Superman bleeding all over the place and his dog saving him. We'll see how that goes. And the worst Green Lantern. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think James Gunn is particularly amazing either. I think when push comes to shove, he's going to fall apart and not be able to like craft this whole universe. I just immediately started to, I mean, I like the Guardians movies and stuff. They're fine and they're really entertaining. They stood out so much in the MCU stuff. But when they showed that there's some like caricature of him like sitting at a desk like writing at the end of the animated stuff that he's done, his like, title card or whatever, I'm like, ugh, is that his image? The like the Stan Lee, sitting at the desk cranking all the great ideas for comic book. He just does the same thing. He's a real one trick, like ensemble cast, wacky. Oh, we're kind of like a family. It's like, are they going to do that with Justice League too? Oh, we're kind of like a family. We're so ragtag. You're from Krypton, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that we want to see that over and over and over again. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, one more cartoon. Bottles are not my friend. Yeah, sorry, movie rant time. But yeah, we're getting some weird stuff this summer, aren't we? And we've got Marvel's doing their Suicide Squad, right? It's coming out this year. The one with the asterisks after it. I can't remember. But it's like everything now for Marvel is the B Squad, though. Which Avengers already was. That's the thing that's so funny, is because Sony owned X-Men and Spider-Man was Fox owned X-Men, Sony owned Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four. They were Paramount or whoever had them, so they didn't have any of the premier Marvel characters. So they went with the B team and did Avengers, and now they're going with the BB team. They're going with the C team to do the new Avengers. Yeah, I don't know. It's really not going to happen again. That was lightning in a bottle. That doesn't, especially with this depressed, because it definitely wouldn't have happened. That MCU thing would not have happened if streaming existed the way it does now. Just no way. And people being chased away from the movie theaters, and yeah. It's very different now. Yeah, it's either going to be really squeezing him dry. Get every last drop of that gun magic out of him. Yeah. That was such a bad scene in The Irishman. The D.H. Robert De Niro trying to curb stomp a guy. It was like, the actor, the victim, was having to do all the work of actually looking like these hits did anything. That was such a bad idea, and I think they figured that out with the Indiana Jones movies. Is like, if you're going to put him on horseback, just deep fake his face on a younger guy that can actually like ride a horse. I think there's a better way to do that. If you're doing the digital technology anyhow, you don't need his body there. Just get a stand-in right body size that's younger and can actually look like he's kicking someone on the ground. Yeah, because I remember there was a behind the scenes where they were showing the making of The Irishman. It was just that one scene where like his whole family is sitting on the sofa and he's in a chair and he has to get up for some reason, like something pisses him off and he has to get up. And Scorsese even said, you're going to have to get up a lot faster than that because we've got you, de-aged to 30 years old, and you did not get up like a 30-year-old. So they should have just like undercranked the film. So it was like a Keystone Cops or something to get the energy up. They probably did. They probably digitally like cheated it even more. But yeah, they even said in that very simple scene, you got to get up faster. That's gotta suck so bad as an actor. Be like, okay, I am too old to even play getting out of a chair roles. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Oh, and that I still don't understand that news, and nobody's, I think, even talked about it. Like none of the Disney Star Wars hate group accounts or anything has really bitched about it. But there was that announcement that Ryan Gosling is going to head a Star Wars or be a character in a Star Wars film. That's gonna be weird. Because he can do comedy, okay, and he can do stoic silence, okay, but Star Wars, yeah, having to say those like wackadoo lines that they write for Star Wars, I don't understand why they would his name would even come up. I don't know. Next we'll have a Ryan Reynolds Star Wars character. Yeah, I just like how they're not even willing to find new talent anymore. Just get names, because that's why it's all sequels and stuff, and all a Star Wars story is because they're so terrified of not having some sort of guarantee on making back some of that money. But what's the yeah, so I think the latest Captain America is going to lose pretty big money, and then they're talking about Snow White losing a lot of money. So I don't know if Disney's going to be in the mood to take any big risks after that. Yeah, I don't know. More like aging ball. Yeah. Oh, James Gunn save cinema, or people will be burnt out. Yeah. Nostalgia Ball Z. Yeah, that's a good name for a show. Gotta milk this Nostalgia Ball Z. Yeah, it's so funny. I can't stop thinking, like, every time you realize that they're just rehashing, trying to resell you your childhood memories back to you, and brands that you remember and things that you remember, just trying to recycle and resell that back to you because it's familiar, and you'll grasp onto it because you're dying and you're forgetting that how much of your life has gone. But that and AI, the generative AI at the same time, is such a bizarre coincidence of things. Like, we've already been in this nostalgia thing, and now there's specifically a tool that mines your past, that mines things that have already been done. It's such a creepy thing to have going on at the same time. I mean, the quality of those tools is still such garbage, but it's really sad that technology and entertainment and everything, branding and marketing and everything is only thinking in that same way. What do we got? What did we do before? Let's do it again, but green. Yeah, it's really really frustrating. I should put this chat somewhere I could see it easier. I'm not turning to the side all the time here. Let's try this. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I can't believe how much how much footage of deepfake Luke Skywalker they used in that. That was House of Boba Fett. No, that was the first beginning of the third season of The Mandalorian. That was way too much. It was great for that reveal, because Mark Hamill looks like shit, and so he couldn't have pulled that off even with de-aging his face. So that was a nice surprise. But that's this shit. Okay, that's it. We're done. And then, but they had like a whole episode of him like talking weird weird digital voice and that weird face. Yeah, Deadpool and the Mandalorian. Yeah, if they start thinking like Hasbro and they just want to like mash shit together, because somebody, I think it was Chris Cox, but somebody like spilled the beans on, you know, why can't there be Transformers in D&D? Like somebody like literally said that. Because we own it, and why can't there be Transformers in Dungeons and Dragons? That's like totally seems like a good idea. So they're still trying to figure out how to, you know, combine the power of My Little Pony and Magic the Gathering. That's exhausting. Yeah, mixing memes and nostalgia. Yeah. That's crazy. All right. Okay. I'm completely stuck here. Something simple. All right. Something on a pillow. Yeah. If it wasn't so gross, it would be funny. Yeah, if this was like not anything that I like grew up with, it'd be funny to watch how badly they're fucking everything up. Let's see. What's something that doesn't need to sit on a pillow, sitting on a pillow? A bucket, a brick, a... oh yeah, let me try just like a red brick. That'd be a nice contrast too, because I could do like a blue pillow, blue or green pillow. Just do the 3-hole brick. Should I do... Oh, actually, let's just do this. Hey. Digital technology. All right. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, I should do the... there's that only cinder blocks that have that little notch. Maybe it would look more interesting if it was notched. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. And it's so funny that these companies never have to admit defeat, especially to their shareholders. We did nothing wrong. It was a inclusive and very brave project. So we should get credit for just that. Take this away. Yeah, do I have that right? Oh yeah, so it just needs to come down here. That's what's wrong. Then it comes down here. There we go. Okay. That's a little more brick-like, and then we'll do... I think I can just do those with color. They don't need lines. Doesn't really, and it actually is not very square. Doesn't really look like a brick, but a nice red color will fix that. All right. Okay, let's put this in the center and see how it looks. Oh, this is the I have nothing left. Oh, actually, these circles should be, they're not the kind of wrong perspective. It needs to be on that surface a little bit more. Yeah, maybe something more like that. Oh yeah, and then, oops. And then here. Should have done that on layers, but there we go. Okay, there we go. Looks a little squished in there. Yeah, if they only knew. Oh, I think it was talking about sigil, that they're like, yeah, why can't we put stuff in there? Sigil that they in their new TT after. It also goes by another, the city of doors. Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's really cool. That's right. Yeah, Red Letter Media on their Star Wars Doomer arc. Yeah. Yeah, that was. Did you see those videos that they did when they put the all the old 80s Star Wars figures in the acetone or whatever, and they just dissolved, and they're playing the clips from the, I think it was probably mostly the first movie, of just like everybody that was like calling for help or in despair or like, you know, something. They just recontextualize a lot of the lines from this, just these dissolving action figures. That was like insanely cathartic. Like, yeah, just let go of this shit, because just like D&D, nobody good owns this now. Nothing good can come of this. But that was a crazy thing to for them to do, and I wonder where they came up with that idea. Like, I wonder how that blue. Yeah, blue's kind of nice. Somebody just must have sent them a million. You know, loose action figures. All right. Yeah, I don't know what we're in for. Maybe I have to go darker with that. Yeah, and I think I have less less of a problem with you know, letting things go to the, you know, to a younger generation, see what they can do with them, because there might be some, you know, interesting stuff to come out of that. But nobody even wants that to happen. It's just a bunch of baby boomers trying to market to Zoomers and like, yeah, people with really bad, and even if it is like Gen X or whatever execs, their thinking is really old and fucked up. Like, it's so strange they can't figure any of this stuff out. They like the memes. Let's give them the memes. Yeah, I should put some texture on this as well. Yeah, because I think it's just making, I think, younger generations being so like mindlessly pandered to is making them even more more fucked up. All right, there's a brick, kind of. It's like half cinder block, half red brick. All right. Let's just do this there. All right. He never expected. So, like here? Yeah, that works. So being used to much worse. He was surprised by the gentle treatment by the being stored or being just generally treated, or he was used to much rougher treatment. Or he had been preparing himself for, without so many typos. All right, he had been preparing himself for much rougher treatment. There we go. Yeah, I gotta check with Chris about doing the weekly a day early. I didn't even think. I hope I don't have to solo it because I fucked up the schedule. Should we do one more darker layer, maybe? For some reason, that's looking really... It doesn't have the depth that I was thinking. I was thinking it should have one more. Yeah, that's a little better. There we go. A little blockier. All right. So I didn't write anything, so it's not going to... I got to look up what that stupid feature is where it's spell checking my handwriting. All right. Well, we have done the very possible. We've done 3 weeks of cartoons in a single stream. A feat I have only done several times before. All right, there we go. Oh, just revert this back. Oh, sorry. It's just in the way. There we go. Vero, how's it going? What's the first summer movie? Wild Robot. Oh, yeah. You kiss me, but you can't. Yeah. That's right. That's the Lilo and Stitch guy. That's the Chris Sanders or whatever, the guy that created, or created that character and is doing a non-Disney character. Good to see you, Vero. Thanks for stopping by. Nice. It was like watching Adderall made it into a movie. Yeah. So that was DreamWorks. So that was that was not Disney Pixar. So yeah, that was trying to do some competition. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed your RLM stuff. Yeah, it's all sad eyes. Rich Evans and Mike, yeah, they are the sin eaters of our failed youth, suffering all the indignity. Yeah, I like when their thumbnails just get more and more as they discuss some horrible show like Picard or something. The Red Letter Media thumbnails just get more and more horrifying with their dead eyes and burning faces. Yeah, that is the weird thing is like people, younger people are thinking, oh, I should like this because it was cool in the 80s. What? Or, my uncle told me about this when I was a little kid. Yeah. Or my uncle's friend, older friend. Who is it for? Yeah, that's very funny. Nice. Yeah, good to see you, Vero. All right, I'm going to do the exciting job of uploading And it's not FTP anymore, so I have no idea where it is. Where is it? It's not there. It's not there. It's here. Sure. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, too many people are using Microsoft back-end web stuff. I don't know. Oh, yeah, speaking of the embassy, the American Embassy website is a fucking nightmare, and it runs on Azure or whatever that Microsoft web server thing is. Oh, my God. That was a horrifying trying to use that. Really, really fucking horrible. Yeah, it's just amazing how fucked up. Because it couldn't handle any multiple language stuff. It was really, really bad. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So this is through the first week of April, which is only a few weeks away. Nice. All right. It kind of looks like a cartoon. It could pass for a cartoon. Wow. We have been doing it. Oh, the super team, the dream team of the Black Halflings, Dimension 20, and Critical Role combined together to play the epic encounters. That's funny. The Steamforged Games is getting into the actual play because they make those minis for like these like little adventures. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That's not good. Sorry, I don't mean to read my email online here. Well, very cool. Well, I think I have done all the damage I can do to my health and my reputation and my sanity. So I think that'll do it. Oh, Flow. I don't think I watched Flow. Let me double check. Oh, cool. No, I did not. I gotta check. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I liked I watched in the theater the new Gundam thing, that Gundam Quacks, whatever they're doing, and they did a really fun. I guess it's a retro, it's a nostalgia thing, but they did a fun retelling of the original Gundam story, where Amuro doesn't pilot the Gundam. Actually, Char seizes their prototype Gundam before, and that changes the whole future of like the division between Zeon and the Federation. So that was really kind of a neat take. And then it gets a little, the stuff for the main part of the setting is a little Zoomer hip, but that was fun to see in the theater, like a retelling of that classic story, because they did all the scenes and everything, and just like have that create this whole alternative timeline. Because I guess the Gundam stuff it's kind of like Final Fantasy, like there's a Gundam in it, and then it's like, but the timelines can be different, and the kind of whole universe can be different, like what that means, what those big robots mean. So that was actually surprisingly fun. I'm trying to think of what else. I didn't see much in the theater at all this year. I'm gonna check out Flow though. That looks good. Nice. Yeah, so we'll be online a day early for the weekly. I hope it might just be me, if Chris is busy, because I'm not sure how the lunch thing has been working. But yeah, we'll do this again. And yeah, thanks. That was so cool. Thank you, Hyphonics. Thanks, John, for sending over some raiders. It was cool to see people pop in again. It's always nice. Yeah, for some reason and I think that's why I got discovered by Hyphonics, is because we just always end up being on at the same time, streaming at the same time. Me my solo ramble. But yeah, we will do this again soon. And Fallout this Friday. That should be fun. I really can't wait to see what the guys want to do, because I think everybody has some experience of the setting, even if it's only the Amazon series, but everybody kind of gets the gimmick. So that'll be fun to really play around with that. And I think I'm going to let them, from their playthroughs and whatever games they like, let them pick something that is like canon in our game, like some event that could go either way, like that exists as a thing, just, you know, so we can have something to keep everybody connected to the setting. But should be fun. Another 2D20 Modifius game. But everybody take care. Thanks so much for hanging with me on this stream. Yeah, Abyss, it was so nice to have a nice long chat. Fun to talk. Adderall made it to a movie with talking and, or they didn't talk, did they, in The Wild Robot? Yeah, it's so funny. All right. So let's get, yeah, so the weekly is going to be Wednesday night, a day early. It's not going to be, and I'm doing this all in North American times. So it's not going to be, we usually do it Friday in Japan. It's going to be Thursday, lunchtime in Japan. And then the Fallout will be Saturday afternoon for Japan, but Friday night for North America. Normal stream, yes. Yes, but we'll be back again soon. And yeah, we'll yeah, thanks for hanging out. It made finishing all these cartoons much easier. So yeah, see you in April. The April stream coming soon. And yeah, see you next time. Goodbye and good night. Almost even for me. See you.